So that was a very interesting video to like scare you guys or anything, but to create the awareness that you should clearly prioritize your financial um, knowledge, health, whatever the case might be, better. We are in a world where it's like, oh yeah, we are young, wait till you're much older to take it seriously, but like this is the best time to like value taking care of your financial health. So, next slide. What does God say about savings? So, I'm not going to stay too long on this because Pastor Joshua has talked about this numerous times. And our anchor verse is going to be on Proverbs 6, verse 6 to 8, which says, go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer, no or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food in the at harvest. So pretty much, essentially, if the plant doesn't, or rather, if the ant doesn't strategically save during the springtime, it's going to suffer during the winter time. Use that as a reflection upon your life. Like, are you strategically saving, investing, putting our money right now in your early quote unquote spring season, and or are you lavishing your money or not using it to the best of your capacity? You know, and second verse I put there is concerning debt, and is on Proverbs 22 verse 7. The borrower is slave to the lender. And the reason why I put this is because if you ain't owing nobody, that means money is not going to be leaving your account. So please try not to owe nobody. I mean, everyone obviously is at different financial capacity, but try your best as possible to always run away from as much consumer debt as possible so that you can try your best to like save. So how does stewardship look like in the kingdom of God? Stewardship is pretty much worship. A steward is someone who is entrusted with the responsibility of managing someone else's resources. So if I have a Rolls Royce, for example, someday, I wouldn't obviously be taking care of the car, doing the maintenance and cleaning and all that. Why? Because I don't have time. I don't have time for that. I'm gonna obviously give it to someone else to run the maintenance, the diagnosis, all that good stuff. Those people are what you would consider stewards of my car. So God has pretty much created the earth, and we are stewards of the earth, like the resources on the earth. You know, Stewardship pretty much means not being a master of money, but being someone who has total control of your money and surrenders it to God. Stewardship is a path, financial freedom is the byproduct. So when you manage your money properly, when you manage your finance, when you manage what God has entrusted you with, the end goal or the byproduct is always to be financially free. So, how do we steward our finances? And we're going to steward our finances, at least from this method that I feel like is somewhat important, is going to be what I call the rich life system. I didn't form this, by the way. So, um, first, we're going to start by creating a dream. What exactly is your rich life? Your rich life can mean totally different from like what anyone else, but you are the one that determines what your rich life is. Then you have to plan. Create a goal or a path for what your rich life would look like. Then you have to automate. This is like pretty much one of the most important parts of it, in my opinion. Then you monitor. Then you enjoy. So pretty much creating this system is your rich life, and that would cause you to steward your finances better. Um, while creating this rich life, you're rather stewarding your finances can also look like you looking at your financial situation and being genuine with yourself. How much am I making? Where do I want to be at? Creating a conscious spending plan, what some of you guys can call a budget. Identifying your money dials. A money dial is pretty much what do I enjoy doing. So if you like Starbucks, that's like a money dial for you. If that's something you like doing, you know, increase your money dial. If there's something in your life you don't like doing or that causes, you know, or that's a disadvantage to your pockets, like having debts and stuff like that, that's a money dial that you should reduce. building up an emergency fund, creating a debt elimination strategy, automating your finances. All this pretty much falls under the previous picture, like falls under the way of you stewarding your finances. So this is like the bigger picture of it, or in depth. So on to the next stuff. We're gonna be working on what exactly we're gonna be working on your own personal rich life. And in front of you there is a piece of paper. So you are gonna be creating what exactly your rich life looks like. And a rich life can be you picking up your kids every day. It can be you buying $1,000 cashmere sweater. Don't know what that is. Glory be to God. You know, it's an expensive sweater, by the way. So it can mean buying rounds of drinks for friends, non-alcoholic beverages, please. You know, or it can mean you traveling 8 times a week. You are the one that decides what your rich life is. When you build what your rich life is, then you can start working your way back as to figuring out, okay, this is the rich life I want. How do I develop it? So I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to pretty much start working on this. And it's going to be directly in front of you. After working on it for 5 minutes, one person per table would pretty much share a section of what they want their rich life to look like. Yes, from the paper. Yeah, so the front and the back. Just answer as fast as possible because you got like 4 minutes. Yeah, it's a lot of questions. So yeah, just be quick with it. Quick with it. Thank you. Just answer as much as possible. So yeah, you guys can just work on it as much as possible, and yeah, you got like 4 minutes. Again, try to be as detailed as possible. You know, you can use prompts like I want to be able to, I will never want to worry about, God is calling me to steal my money by. So just try and be as detailed as possible, but be fast. Can someone from this table share like one line or a section from your conscious spending plan? It can be from like any section. There's three bullet points or four bullet points of your section. Just share with the class. Yeah. Okay, Dami, raise up your hand. So no, you can share like the bullet points of any section. There are multiple sections.
Oh, I should say like for one section.
Yeah, anyone you
Okay.
insert. What does a
So
rich life look like?
questions about money and spending. What is something you love to spend money on that you happily spend extravagantly on guilt free? And I wrote makeup, but I also wrote but I wrote that I still feel guilty sometimes when I spend money on it. What big wins would make the most impact on your long-term financial security far more than saving on small items like coffee? And I said I would definitely say investing and being more intentional with my second stream of income, which is my business.
Okay.
Um, what is the specific dollar amount you want to be able to spend on your favorite thing?
You say
Now,
$1 million. You can say it. Say it.
oh no, mine wasn't even up to a million.
Oh,
I would say like 1,000.
that's good. That's good.
Okay, cool,
Okay.
cool, cool. And then what do you explicitly not want to spend money on?
That.
No, I said cars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Buy a guy cash.
yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Can someone from the table to the yeah share something? Just any section that you did. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
I gotta read all of them. I could just read.
Just like read one section.
Oh, section.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of whatever one you did. It mustn't be
Um.
okay.
So for the first one, I said getting my hair done.
Getting your
Like
done.
I would spend great money on quality work. Like I don't yeah,
Okay,
and
okay.
I would do it every
Okay.
every time. And then I said for the second one about big wins, I said investing and creating multiple streams of income.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. On the specific dollar amount you want to spend on your favorite, I said zero. But
Oh,
ideally zero. I wouldn't want like if I could just
okay.
have yeah. I
Okay.
didn't. Maybe I didn't understand the question.
Okay. It's fine.
And then what do I not want to spend money on?
Yeah.
I said rent and car insurance.
Rent. Rent. Mm-mm. Be good to like own the apartment, right? Yeah, just own it. Okay, the table behind. Who wants to share something from a section from their rich life?
Um, what is the specific dollar amount you want to be able to spend on your favorite thing?
Okay.
And I said $100.
$100? Yeah,
So,
that's cool. Yeah, just read a section of whatever your rich life is.
I'm gonna do the
First one, yeah, you can read.
yeah. What is something
Read
that I
it.
would love to spend money on that I would happily spend money on extravagantly? My health. I would have
Health.
a grocery store in my
Health
house.
insurance be expensive. Mm-mm.
Eating healthy is so expensive.
Yeah.
Probably a garden.
Like grow your own garden. That's cool. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. The table behind. Who wants to share a section?
For the first one, I put traveling.
Traveling? Okay.
I already spent a lot of money on traveling.
Okay.
But I was
Lights be expensive. Okay. So pretty much the point of this exercise is obviously to get you guys comfortable about talking about money, but just to pretty much also create a vision to like look forward to. Because sometimes we just want to make money, and we don't have like a vision that we're looking forward to. So that was the point of creating that plan. So now you can also introspectively look at your current financial status. Is your financial status in alignment with the dreams that you have? If the answer is yes, then keep doing what you're doing. If the answer is no, then that means okay, we need to lock in tighter and get better in that aspect of your life. So, the next section that we're going to be going over is the um, conscious spending plan. So pretty much a conscious spending plan is like an alternative to like a budget. So what's some might call it budget, is known as a conscious spending plan. So instead of tracking every dollars, the conscious spending plan gives you the bigger framework of what your finance looks like. So you can spend freely on what you enjoy doing, guilt free. And to me, I've found that the best way of having like a conscious spending plan is by having an account that gives you the ability to split your money to like individual like buckets or like individual accounts. So the next slide would show what that would look like. So I personally use a high yield savings account with the specific bucket savings. So having this, it makes me split up my actual account to smaller parts, and I know that whenever my paycheck hits, it's already going to these specific parts. So the next slide. This is pretty much this is exactly a screenshot of my account. So you're in my business now. And pretty much whenever money hits my account, it goes to what is called vault. So I use SoFi Bank, not a sponsorship, hopefully, after this. So whenever the money hits in my account, it goes to these individual buckets. So it first goes to my wedding vault. You all know I'm engaged, so saving for that. Then it goes to tithes, zero because I get my tithes on Sunday, and you should too. It goes to my electric bill. It goes to car bill. It goes to groceries. $46 till my next paycheck. So that's what I get to spend on groceries. It goes to my Wi-Fi, gas, T-Mobile, whatever the case might be, and 5% of my paycheck goes to me. So I have like $36.27 to spend on myself. If I choose to spend all that money on Starbucks, it's an unwise decision, but I wouldn't feel bad, because the money has already been designated for. So I don't feel guilty spending the money because I pay myself. So pretty much having a bank that automatically splits your money like this would help in your conscious spending plan. So another important part of all this, next slide please, is pretty much automating your finances. So automating your finances is crucial for this conscious spending plan. Like it's literally one of the most important part of it because it removes the willpower of you spending your money. It removes oops spending, like walking into Walmart and wanting to spend like $50 on groceries, and all of a sudden you're coming with like $100 worth of groceries. So having or rather automating your finances removes all that from you. It gives you the discipline to always set aside money for a designated thing. So automating your finances is literally the most important part of all this. And next slide. This is pretty much how it look like. So like whenever you get a salary, it automatically goes to your 401k, your checkers account, your savings, your Roths, those paying for your credit cards and your miscellaneous bills. So pretty much you can set up your account to automatically debit like specific dollar amounts that you've created in your conscious spending plan. Like for example, you can say on the 2nd of every month, take out the specific amount. On the 5th of every month, take out the specific amount. So automating your finances would help out a lot. And I personally, again, use SoFi Bank. Could you go to the next one? So this is pretty much how it looks like. So every paycheck, it automatically debits 5% of my paycheck to like my personal account. So like I get like paid 5% of my actual paycheck. Whenever my paycheck hits, it automatically debits $55 for just like car related expenses. Then whenever it hits my accounts again, it automatically debits $120 for just groceries. This is pretty much again the picture I showed earlier. So it's called autopilot on SoFi. So it would look different on like different banks. So pretty much automatically structuring your accounts, automatically debit money for different accounts would create that structure for you to pretty much remove the willpower to like automatically be transferring like money by yourself. So this kind of like forces you to save. This kind of forces you to designate money for tithe. This forces you to put in money for food alone. So you don't like overly spend and say oops or whatever. So we are going to be working on your conscious spending plan. I believe Aish has already given you access to the Excel sheet, so you could just open um, Google Sheets, I believe. Then you would see the conscious spending plan, Google Sheets. So pretty much that is going to be um, the sheet where you pretty much put your assets, your investments, your savings, your debt. It pretty much helps you calculate your net worth, helps you um, see if you're overly spending or yeah, that's the QR code by the way. It helps you see if you're overly spending or you're right on track. Typically, your fixed costs like your rent, your utilities, insurance, mortgage is meant to be around 50 to 60% of your paycheck. So if you put in those numbers on there and it's higher than that, that means you need to work on that. So then at the end, it automatically calculates how much you should be designating for yourself. So that's why I like this specific plan. So it's kind of like a budget, but again, it gives you the ability to see where your money goes. So after creating this conscious plan, you then implement it in your what's it called? Your bank. So you have like a high yield savings account, which I would recommend everyone open, that has like a budgeting system. You would pretty much set those accounts to match whatever you have on your conscious spending plan. Anyone have any question as of right now? Question? Again, when you open the sheets, just put like your own amount on the first sheet, like whenever it says assets. So whatever assets you have, you put it on there. Whatever savings you have, put it on there. Income, put your income, your fixed cost, expenses like your rent, just put it on there so that it populates. So it automatically populates. So you don't have to like. Anyone need any help opening it? See, I meant to like save it. Make it. help assessing the files. How y'all doing? Okay, so if you have already populated all the cells in the sheet, it should already show you if you're going above or below your budget. So the goal of this is to pretty much show you or give you an insight on your own finances. Okay, so if you are spending, let's say 50 or rather above 60% in your fixed cost area, that means that's the section you need to like work on. Then in the investments, typically it's expected that you set aside 10% of your for investment. That number is not 10%. You should start working on that. For savings, it's typically 5 to 10%. If the number that you have is not around that range, then you work on that. So pretty much that is something that would give you an idea of where your finances are. If you're spending above or below that, it would make you aware of it. And in doing this, you then set up the automation. So whenever you get your paycheck, you see how much you spend on rent, you see how much you spend on utilities, you can already integrate that in information for how it's debated. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to present for now. Looking forward to seeing how the next few weeks go. Does anyone have any question on anything I've said so far? Derek.
Yeah, quick question for you.
Sir.
What's the worst financial decision you ever made?
Worst financial decision I've made. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't think I made the decision, but I'm happy I didn't. So, yeah, I'm still use that. So, I used to work at PepsiCo. You all know PepsiCo, the drink company. So, I used to work there as an intern back in 2022. And that was like my first big boy internship, you know? So, I was like, yeah, I was getting good money back then. Like, the highest I've ever made when I was at UNT was like $15 an hour. So, going from $15 an hour, I was earning like I think 28.50 in my first internship. I was like, yeah, we up from here. So I was like, okay, um, what should I buy? Now I'm making like this amount of money as an intern, you know. So I was like, okay. I was looking at my car. My car was like, need to be changed. So I was like, I wanted to buy a Lexus. If you all know me, I like cars. So I wanted to buy a Lexus IS 350 like back in 2022 because I was earning, a decent amount of money. And my parents like were begging me. It was like, yo, don't do this, don't do this. I mean, nothing was wrong in my car. I just wanted something nicer, something flashier. I was like making big bangs. Like I need to show. But I'm so happy I didn't make that decision of buying the car because obviously it would have been a depreciating asset. One, it would have looked nice though, but I didn't make the decision. I ended up using the money for my internship for like the remaining semester that I was at like UNT. So that was an almost bad decision. So yeah, thank you for asking. Any other questions from anyone? Promise I don't bite. Question on anything I've talked about so far, or you want me to explain further? Okay. Oh, okay. You have a question, Joshua? Joseph? Oh,
You mentioned the high yield savings.
yes, ma'am.
What helped you make your decision on which one you personally went with?
So for the high yield savings account, I just personally like one that obviously has the buckets because again, I've tried the whole doing your budget like every month. I don't do that. Like it can't work for me. Like I'm not gonna be looking at like spreadsheets. I mean, I work with spreadsheets, but I'm not gonna be doing that like every month. So I do have a spreadsheet, but I look at it like once in like 6 months. Like I would rather have my money go to individual buckets that I know are for specific things in my life. Like if I know I have to like get groceries, for example, like I already know money for grocery goes here. I don't need to budget for it. I don't need to think about it. So I needed something that had individual buckets because yes, there are like a bunch of different high yield savings account, but like I specifically wanted one that had like individual bucket system, and I currently use SoFi. My account has like 10 savings, so it's like so. I liked one that looked aesthetically pleasing. So yeah, those were the I guess two main factors for me. One that had the individual buckets, and one that looked good, good customer service, good reviews. Yeah, that's what I looked out for. Any other questions?
What do I do if my income and expenses are like neck and neck? So like not necessarily living above my means, but there's not really that much margin.
Ooh. So pretty much, let's say, what do you do when you're making, like, let's say, 5K a month, your expenses like 49.99, pretty much. Yeah, that's a very glorious place to be. So, I think in that specific situation, I would assess, I would do a deep dive as to like my finances. A lot of people don't know like when it comes to like finances that for example, housing. let's use housing for example. Like a lot of people don't know that depending on how much you make, you shouldn't go past the rent on like specific level. So like if you're making, I believe I think 50, I think if you're making like 40K or something, like your rent shouldn't be above $750. A lot of people don't know that. So that's a whole different like topic. If you're making like I think 60K, your rent shouldn't go above 125. So like those are like minor stuff that you can like cut out in your expenses. You know, if you're in let's say car loan for example, car loan is above a specific amount, a glorious amount, then you should maybe reevaluate the kind of car you should get. So stuff like that, I believe that yeah are always opportunities for you to like fine tune like your finances. Like, but it again, a lot of people don't want to do it. Like whether it's like where you stay, your rent, or the kind of car you drive, or like there are just so many things where there are opportunities for you to fine tune it. You know, so I would suggest that you know take a deeper like dive in your finances and see what are the areas where you can cut cost in, and if it means you even getting a second part-time job, if you have the opportunity to, I think then you might have to like highly consider that if you really, if that really bothers you, then I think you should get like a second job, like or like a side gig to like um, supplement the income if you're having a tight margin. That's what I think. Any other question?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I know you talked about investing in high yield savings accounts and 401ks. I was wondering what other investment avenues you can take, especially for the average person, you
Yeah.
know, not investing that much.
Yeah.
The high yield savings account,
Yeah.
the percentage is not
Yeah.
like less than 10%.
Yeah.
So can't really see the returns
Return on
as
investment.
much
Yeah.
if you're not investing like $50,000 and you're getting 5% from
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
So what other avenues
What are
do you
avenues?
suggest?
Excellent question. First of all, may I remind you, I am not a financial advisor, and most importantly, I'm not your financial advisor. You know, but in my humble opinion, I feel like having a high yield savings account is the barest minimum when it comes to finance. Like, you're doing that, good, but it's like you could do better. Um, I would say always start with whatever your company supports you with. So if you have a 401k, typically a lot of people run away from 401ks because it's like, oh yeah, I'm giving my money to like my employee, but it's like it's literally free money. Like most good employees would have what is called a match. So you give $100, they give you like $50 extra for free. You know, it's free money. That's a good place to start from. So when you start with, I typically would advise start with retirement account. So your 401ks, then your Roth IRAs. If you're in a high deductible health plan, you can do like a HSA account. So those are good, solid, like places to start from. So a lot of people think when it comes to investing, oh, I must have real estate or like whatever. Like people don't know that there are literally millionaires who have made money without owning properties, without owning businesses. Like it is possible to make $1 million without owning none of that. So just doing your 401k, starting with a 401k. If your company gives you a 401k, please get like the match. So I'll start with that. Get like a Roth IRA because you gotta save for retirement. If you're in a high deductible health plan, it's your insurance. Get a HSA because it's a triple advantage savings account. After doing all that, and you've had a strong like grip on that, then start considering doing like what's it called, getting into real estate and stuff like that. But just doing the bare 401k, HSA, Roth IRA, I promise you, if you invest a specific amount of money, you can from age like let's say 25 to um, age 65, you can invest and make over like $1 million if you play your cards right. So you don't need to own real estate. You don't need to own properties. People always make it seem like, oh, if you don't have real estate, if you don't do this, you're not investing your money. Now you can just pretty much play slower game and generate wealth by just investing in all those types of. So that's what I would suggest.